Hey everybody, it's SpiceyKy. These three were once a family, but the monster on the right took away the beautiful young lady on the left as she held their beautiful baby girl in her arms. Here's the story.
They're gunned down by her baby's father this week, and DeKalb County believes the system let them down.
Yeah, they claim Taco Nash shot Mic'keya Montgomery 2 years ago and told her repeatedly he was going to kill her.
First of all, before I date a man named Taco Nash, I'm gonna need to meet the woman that named him Taco Nash.
There seem to have been lots of red flags in this case because Taco Nash had been arrested numerous times before on violent offenses. The victim's family tells me they believe he should have never been released on bond and turned back on the streets to hurt someone.
Actually, if the police would have done their job, my niece would still be here. She would not be, we wouldn't be planning a ceremony or a funeral.
Mic'keya Montgomery's family is crushed. They believe several police agencies and the judges who kept letting murder suspect Taco Nash bond out of jail bear some responsibility for her fate. The 21-year-old mother was shot and killed Wednesday after she picked up her daughter Khloe from this daycare on Snapfinger Park Drive. Police say the man waiting for her with a gun was her baby's father, Nash. But her family says there were so many warning signs before he killed her.
To me, he's just a menace to society. His record even shows that. You know, he's aggressive. This is what he does. They allowed him the space and the grace to be able to take somebody's life.
Yes.
They allowed it. They gave it to him.
Yeah.
They gave it to him. And he took her life.
Fox 5 News has learned Nash was arrested for allegedly shooting Mic'keya back in July of 2020 in Atlanta. Then in August of 2021, Nash was the subject of a SWAT standoff when East Point police say he pulled a gun on Montgomery and held his own daughter, Khloe, hostage at gunpoint.
He was slapped with 5 charges, all of which he was given $4,000 bonds each. That's a total of $20,000 in bonds, which if you work with a bail bondsman means only $2,000 cash.
Then
Plus
in
his
March of
mama
this
house.
year, both Nash and Montgomery were arrested in Lithonia after her family claims he beat her up.
This time he was slapped with 2 charges, both of which he bonded out. However, this county doesn't say how much the bonds were.
It all begs the question of why. Why the suspect with such a violent past kept getting released on bond.
Mine is with the police department. It's with the judges that's granting these unsecured bonds and just putting people with violent histories on ankle monitors. I know when we spoke to someone, they said it was overcrowded in Fulton County.
We asked DeKalb police to talk to us about this tumultuous domestic violence case that unfortunately led to murder. We are still waiting to hear back from them. In DeKalb County, Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
This time he was slapped with 3 charges, 2 of which had $5,000 bonds. The other one had a $25,000 bond for a total of $35,000 or $3,500 cash and grandmama's house. This time he was charged with 6 charges. He caught 6 freaking charges, 4 of which were unsecured bonds. That means no cash was required whatsoever. The other 2 added up to $70,000 altogether. So that's $7,000 cash he would have to come up with, along with his uncle's house.
We are learning new details tonight about the criminal history of a man accused of shooting and killing the mother of his child as she held their little girl. The family claims the court system failed this young mother. LaDasha Gibbons spent the day digging through recent court records and found the suspect had been arrested multiple times in just the last 2 years.
Right now, 22-year-old Taco Nash is behind bars after DeKalb County police say he shot and killed Mic'keya Montgomery as she held their baby daughter at daycare. He forced the mother and daughter outside at gunpoint.
The justice system completely failed her.
The family tells 11 Alive she lived in fear for years after repeated physical abuse. That abuse well documented when 11 Alive checked online court records. We found 2 other open cases in DeKalb County where he faced misdemeanor charges for theft, family violence, and battery. And in Fulton County, an open case from 2021 for an arrest including felony charges like aggravated assault. Court records show he was released on bond in March in order to wear an ankle monitor. Montgomery's family says the system failed her.
And had they locked him up and put him away, she would probably still be here.
We spoke with former prosecutor and current criminal defense attorney Daryl Cohen to get his perspective on this case.
Everything went wrong. This woman should never have been in the situation she was in.
We asked Cohen specifically about the ankle monitor that was a condition of Nash's bond order in March.
It's nothing more and nothing less than a GPS. So they know where he is, and they know where he should be, and they know where he isn't.
He says a protective order can't physically stop someone. It only has consequences if they don't follow it.
He should have been incarcerated up until his trial.
At DeKalb County, Latasha Givens,
Family
11
started
Alive News.
GoFundMe to try to help bury this beautiful young lady and her daughter. Let's read what the GoFundMe says. Blessings to all. My name is Chanceria Coleman, and I am the eldest sister of Mic'keya Montgomery, 21, who is now deceased. I created this GoFundMe for my baby sister to help raise funds for us to give her a decent and proper burial, as well as funds to help support baby Khloe. Over the past 2 years, Kia was in a very toxic and abusive relationship with Taco Nash. In August 2020, as she tried to run away from him, she fell and he stood over her in the street and shot her while she was pregnant. He abused her several more times after that incident. Each time he was arrested, unbelievable, justice allowed him to bond out, be placed on probation, and even the last time he was released on house arrest with an ankle monitor. Our mother passed away 10 months ago on August 13th, 2021. 9 days later, Kia's brother-in-law, my husband, was murdered in Atlanta. Due to the recent tragic deaths in our family and the toxicity of being abused and emotionally involved with Taco Nash, Kia went into depression up until the day she was taken. She was trying to do life as she knew it, and she had finally started to see a little light and hope. So she began working. She put Khloe in daycare, and she was searching for her own apartment. Putting her faith over her fear, she had finally decided to leave Taco for good. She was no longer allowing his fear tactics to keep her tied to him. With help from her family, we were able to help her get away from him. 2 days prior to him taking her life, we called the police on him for pulling a gun on her on Panola Road when he saw her leaving a gas station as she was headed home. The DeKalb County policeman that we spoke to told us to call them if he comes back, and we had already given them all of his information. Due to the negligence of the judicial system, they gave him yet another opportunity to hurt my sister. 2 days later, he waited around for her to arrive at the daycare to pick up their child, Khloe, and after she stepped out of the daycare facility, he forced her to leave with him, fought daycare staff off, threatened to kill all of them if they didn't let her leave, and he kidnapped her and Khloe and shot her while she held Khloe in her arms. Such a tragic story. My heart goes out to her family, especially her daughter, Khloe. Ladies and gentlemen, be careful who you date. Background checks matter. Spicey out.